Hello again. Right, I've got a bit of a random video for you today. I wasn't going to video the paintwork that I'm doing on an E30 at the moment, purely because it's just a paint job. You know, so remove the old paint, prime it, fill it, paint it again. And the reason was that because there's no real sort of like interesting rust repairs to be done on it. I don't think painting videos are really that interesting as YouTube videos. But anyway, I've changed my mind because I found some rust, and we all love rust repairs. So what we've got here is rust holes. Lots of very odd rust holes. There's sort of crunchiness underneath here, where from factory they're not really sealed, are they? They're not really rust protected, and this car's been standing outside a long time, and I guess it's possible that somehow this has been, I don't know, moist, damp, got water in it. But anyway, what we've got to do now is repair this so it goes out quite a way. There's even a bit there, a bit out here. So I think some of it is just going to be plug welding. So zip through there with a drill, turn it into a hole, maybe put a bit of backing underneath behind it, and maybe I'll make one of those sort of backing pliers. Just sort of squeeze up in there and just weld onto that. But these ones I think need a new piece of metal in there. That's just too much to weld up. Hole there, so I think what I'll do is make a patch piece, maybe coming out all the way out here. So first I've got to determine the extent, how much I need to actually repair. That's not a rust hole. Over this side, same sort of thing really. Same sort of thing. I mean, yeah, you could bodge it, you could kitty hair it up, and nobody'd ever really know. But I don't think that's the way to do it, is it? Not my way, anyway. So that's some sort of template. But in doing that, it sort of dissuaded me from maybe doing a whole repair panel. And what I'm actually thinking about doing now is just cutting out this whole area and then looking at how bad it is on the inside. So maybe spot welding it or spot repairing it. So a little piece in here, a little piece in here, a little piece in here, there, and everywhere, and then just weld it back in. Because whatever, it's going to come out. So just cut it big. Go big or go home. Just cut it out on this level, and we can weld it in again if we need to. Another thing I've been thinking about, other than killing noisy birds, how to treat the rust. Treat the rust. So I really don't like the way these cutting discs cut. Because they skid around, they don't really bite and dig in and cut until you get through really, and then I intend on TIG welding this up, and if I've got too much of a gap, which that is too much of a gap, it's not going to TIG weld very well. And the reason why I've got to TIG weld it is because my MIG welder is broken and I'm out for repair. And I've spent a bit of time recently just practicing doing butt welding with TIG, and I think I can do a nice job of it, but not with a gap like that. So let's see if I've got another disc that's going to cut it better. Now for the moment of truth. Turn the fan off so you can hear me. How bad is this underneath? Ooh. Ooh. Quite bad, isn't it? quite bad. I'm going to clean this up. It would appear that onwards in there is okay. Yeah. It's a bit crusty up in there. Not sure how thin that really is. Oh, there it is. Don't know, I'm going to clean this up and see how it is. It looks pretty bad. I'll just wire wheel this off. Wheel this off. And just, yeah. I think I'm probably going to end up making a new piece. Alright, so this was pretty thin, this stuff, 0.7 mil. I think it's 22 gauge. So I've got this. It's actually an old shelf. I've been using this for quite a few repairs. It's soft enough to form, and it's the same thickness. I've got a paper template, anything from that. And I'm just now trying to rough out the shape. So I'm first just trying to get this curve, that curve through there. Which, just doing some shrinking tucks on here. Basically just put over a gap in the vise, created a tuck, and now I'll flatten them out on the track, railway track. And hopefully I'll get that to curve around there. Once I've got that shape roughly where I need it, I'll then make the tip across the top here. It'd be a lot easier if I'd got the tipping dies for my bead roller, but I haven't, so it's do it old school. So I've had a couple of goes with the tuck shrinking, and it sort of straightens it back out again when you flatten the tucks out. So I put the shrinker in the vise and see if that helps. Trouble is, I've got quite a lot of depth here, which the shrinker might not like. I've got these very crude tucks in here, which I'm not going to flatten out yet. But basically they need to be pinched in and then crushed down. So that is, that's meeting that curve now. So what I need to do now is flip that over, tip that over to the other way. And hopefully doing that would also try and lock in some of the shape. And that's okay there. Once it's all locked in, we'll look at like flattening things out. Try and get the rough shape of it first. I think they refer to it as an area value. So you get the right area value, and we'll be moving in the right direction. My current thinking is this is an absolute piece of junk and a waste of time. But I shall continue regardless. So basically now, well, that was a curve like that. I stretched through there a mallet and a sandbag to flip it around the other way. But then I need to get the definition of this line, which is a bit wonky on that side, but it's correct on that side. That line, and then I guess try and crisp it all up. I got a feeling I may have gone the wrong way around doing this. I started with the lower flange and working my way up, and I think I should have started with the top bit, the most significant bit, and then bent that through there and then bent that up. So if I do have to do this again, and I'm feeling that's probably the way we're going, is that I'll start off at the top and bend down. But let's just see where this goes for now. so I've abandoned the first piece. Ridiculous mess. We're going to try it the other way around now. So I've got that curve transposed on here, and I'm going to now form this, I don't know, change on the back there. So I think just with the ball peen is just stretch that out there. I'll start hitting it and see what works. Alright, so perhaps a better start to this one. I cut a piece of paper out to give me that curve, replicate that curve, and then I just broke the edge on the rail over there, on the rail, the plastic mallet. Just basically put it on the edge and just broke the edge with it, and then use the English wheel to straighten it out again. So I should keep doing that. It blends down, so it's got less of a step here. Than this is almost 90 degrees, and that's a lot less, so it flattens out 45 degrees or something. So we'll just work on getting this bit right first. Roughly speaking, we've sort of got that shape. It's pulling it down here, so it's not maintaining the top as flat. So I reckon what I've got to do is stretch down here to be able to let that pop up. So just do that on the sandbag. Do it both ways, I guess. And then if I wheel that out, that should give me more material in it. This is the template giving us this bottom line now, so I'll now mark that on there and start to manipulate the metal up along this bottom line. So it's a lot tighter now, all the way around. I've lost a little bit of height there, but I can get that back in easily enough. Just need to move that edge back and just change the radius here. Just shift that radius around there is easy enough to do. What I might do now, trim up the hole. Because I'm going to tick this in, because my MIG weld is broken. So I'm going to have to TIG weld it in. What I do is this is a wibbly wobbly, so we'll straighten this out first, and then that'll determine the size to start cutting this down to. And I can strip off all this horrible powder coating as well. The reason why I didn't do it first is because as you'll see, is if I'd gone all the trouble of stripping that down to powder coating, to bare metal, getting the powder coating off it, I'd have wasted my time. So here I hopefully won't be wasting my time, so I'm a little bit more invested to strip it down. So it looks a little bit more like it now. That powder coating stripped off. So I'll start cutting it to size. Still got some planishing to do in here. You can see the powder coat still stuck in some low spots. A bit more, tiny bit more on this top radius, but that bottom radius needs doing more. Still got it on the other side. Might even leave that on there as some rust protection. So that's sitting lovely and flat on there now. As I say, time to start letting it in. So rather than trying to match this piece to that hole, because that piece is obviously smaller than the hole now because of the cutting disc all the way around it. So rather than match this to that hole, I'm going to match the hole to the piece. So just cut that down. So there's a tape width, which is, I don't know what tape is this, 5-6 mil, 1/4 inch, something like that. We'll cut and shut that in. Cut and butt, that sort of thing. Maybe not exactly a cut and butt, but the next is to cut that down. That line there would have gone to there, but now we're a bit longer. And I may have to trim it a bit more. But this is first cut. And probably maybe have to roll this edge down, because this will be a bit wider. This was cut on the top of the rad, so maybe have to profile that down. It's starting to look okay now. I mean, yeah, you could probably just like MIG weld that in there and job done. No more rust. Got its integrity back. But it's not about that. It's about learning how to make it how it should be. That's it really. Just, you know, it's not the job itself, it's the journey. So that's why I'm trying to do it as perfectly as I can. So I learn. So when it does matter, I can do it. Well, I'm happy now with the sort of shape. It's almost down everywhere, and when it is, there's no sort of major rocking, because obviously it's overlapping. So what I've got to do now is like that scribe there. You scribe it and then tweak the fit. Can't get it back in. Right, that's about where I want it, about there, I believe. Yeah, so I'll cut this edge out first, get back to this scribe line and tease it in, and then it should be a perfect fit. So that is, I guess, touching condition all the way around here. It's a pretty perfect fit on 3 sides. And I've just got now a bit to do along here. Probably a bit of shaping here, because that step, because the gap is actually there. That gap's okay there. Maybe losing it a bit here. Just check around this corner. I think this corner's okay. Just that top patch panel just needs to radius down a little bit more. Probably just do it a tiny bit more fettling. And then she's good to go. I'm not sure if that's the line I just did. If that's the case, then there's a bit more material to come out. Bit there. Here's not too bad. So it's a bit more fettling, but we're close. We're very close. After that, a bit more tidying up here, get the holes in it, and hopefully weld it in. So that's it. That's just what's like a lid. It's just sitting not on but in, because it's a fit. Difficult to get in. There. Just flush all the way around. Or within reason. Within reason. Anyway, get the idea. Right. So the next thing to do is to put holes in it. So I need to find a socket that size. I'll do a trial piece first, but basically just knock the socket on the sandbag into the depression, and then I guess when that's done, cut the hole out. I have to leave the fan on because it's a bit warm today, so I'll try and speak a bit louder. Basically what I'm doing, right, so I want to do these holes and dimples. This one's a little rougher because it's been rusted away. Messed that up. There you go. So the size of the hole is the outside of the line. So I've got this tube. Actually, it was made for working on the modifying the track control arms. So I think what I'm going to do now is find the centre of that, so I can accurately place this. So apparently, if you draw enough lines on you can get the middle of the... How does that work then? Might have misunderstood that. That doesn't work for me at all. Oh well. So apparently, if you draw a line there and halve it, a line there and halve it, a line there and halve it, and then at 90 degrees apparently that's the centre. Alright, I've just centre pot mark the centre, yeah. So I'll drill that now, and then I'll flip it over, and then I'll mark the ring, the circumference of that, so that I can position it in the right place, and then dimple it accordingly. At the moment it'll be anywhere and it won't be in the right place. So drill that first. Right, that'll be the hole. Make it nice and clear. And then I'm going to grab some double-sided sticky tape and I think I'll draw around it first. Get yourself a long nib pen for this sort of work, it's brilliant. Right, now I've got that marked, cut that out. Right. Flanished it, not perfectly round, but more like an egg shape. Right, that is now obviously stuck and located on there. Then I can go over here. Stick it back on again. So this is the rust converter, and I've put it into a squeezy bottle. And what I'm going to do is I've now cut out that side, and I've also made a patch as well. So the two patches are there, and I'm sort of working towards welding them in. But what I want to do first is spray. Hopefully this is going to work. There. Spray. Not very good, but I guess I get a brush on. Yuck. What a, yeah. I hate it when things don't really work right. That's pretty much always. I'll just get a brush, and the idea is to try and actually, lads, don't know. I need a brush. I'm going to brush and try and brush it all up in there now. Right, I've done the bits and pieces with the sort of rust converter under there as much as I can with the brush, and just taking the paint off of this patch panel here. So I'm going to set the TIG up now. Although I did that panel first, wherever it is, there, that's a much more complicated panel to weld in, and also if I mess it up, a lot more complicated panel to remake. So I'd rather mess this one up and weld this in first, because this is obviously easy to remake. So yeah, I'll come and get the go and get the TIG welding gear, and we'll start with that. we'll sort of tack it in this edge, sort of tack it around and tweak it to get it perfectly flush, or as flush as we can, and then run a weld around it. That is now TIG welded in, and I'm not going to say it was easy, because it wasn't. I scrapped using the foot pedal because I just couldn't get on with it. I learnt as much as I'd learnt so far using the trigger, the finger trigger, and so I went back to that. Well, it's certainly welded in there. It's still hot actually, so I'm not going to touch it. It's certainly welded in there, and it doesn't look too bad, and obviously there's a minimal amount of grinding required. I have actually sort of done a second pass on it, because the first pass was holes and whatnot, and yeah, it doesn't really seem to be distorted more than it was distorted already with the sort of curved shape. So, well, it's in there, isn't it? It's in there. It's not the sort of thing you can planish either. You can't get a dolly behind it to you know, to planish anything flat. So not really an ideal situation. I was sort of umming and ahhing. I've just called the guy that's got my welder to say, come on man, can it be fixed? I really need it. And he sort of said that he wants me to buy a new one. Will give me money off for the old one, and the new one's going to be more suitable for, you know, heavy work. This is not heavy welding, but it gets used often. So the question is, do I continue TIG welding and TIG weld this in? Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt. Only my sanity, because this has taken a couple of days, to be honest. Because you do a bit and you can lose your rag and you walk away and you sit down and look at your phone and, you know, do some stuff on Facebook, watch a bit of telly, and then come back and okay, you're off again until you make a cock up and then go back in again. And yeah, so I could do that over there as well, and then we can get this all stripped and primed. I'm umming and ahhing because it's not going to be anytime soon, within like next week, that I see a welder and a MIG welder, and by the time it does come, I'll have done this anyway. I don't really want to start on something else, even though I've got a wing over there that needs blocking and a wing down there that needs filling. I'd rather get this ready for priming first. I'm answering my own questions, aren't I? This has probably been a really awful video, and I do apologise for that, but I think I've learnt something from it. So I said that I wasn't going to attempt to TIG weld this in. With the absence of a MIG, I thought, well, what the hell? And actually, the spotting of it has gone a lot better than that side did. So it fits better anyway. Just a few blowholes, one there, 3 or 4 blowholes, but that doesn't really matter. We'll get to welding it in continuously then. Well, through sheer determination, I have accomplished the TIG welding of that patch. Is in there. Maybe a tiny little bit of a pinhole there, we'll see when we ground it back. But if there's nothing else that'll improve your TIG welding, it's doing something that matters. Couldn't stop. There's no way out of it. Just gotta keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Eventually I upped the wire size, did all the way around here and all the way up here with the bigger wire size. Didn't use the MIG wire, the 0.65 MIG wire. I used the 1mm welding wire, mild steel. And changed technique a little bit and blew less holes with it. Use it a bit of a heat sink. So anyway, that's in there now. So just need to grind it up and take all the paint off the inside of the bonnet and paint it. I think that's the end of this video. So bit of a funny one, but I don't know. It's all about learning, isn't it? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you. Bye.